All right, welcome to Odd Musings episode number 211.
That's right.
211.
211.
Gosh, it's hard to believe we've gotten this many. It just feels like we just started doing this. I saw something pop up on Facebook, and it was pre-show when we had to do the pre-shows just to get everything working right. And it was first year, and it was well, I guess you call it first season, I guess. But I was wearing the Tashi shirt I got from T-24.
Oh yeah.
So and a new one out. I don't know if you saw it. They did a new Firefly t-shirt hoodie, and they got up for pre-orders right now on their website. So definitely check that out. It's a lot of cool stuff on that one. And, Vinny messaged this.
I just want to point out too, their shirts are so comfortable and high quality. They last.
Yeah, so I'm not wearing one now. I'm wearing my Eastern Michigan shirt right now, but I wear them all the time, and they're good. In fact, the Crimson Shadows shirt is, and as well as the Poe one we did for the Kickstarters, are from T-24.
I was actually sporting the Poe shirt last night, wearing that and out and about. And I thought about doing some modeling pics to post on our site, but I felt I didn't need to assault our viewers that
way. No, but I saw you got a really cool Father's Day gift. Happy belated Father's Day to you.
Oh, thank you. And to you. You've got a dog child.
Yeah, and your first grandpa Father's Day.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah. So I saw some good pictures of you and the little one.
We had a good time. For Father's Day, we did a couple things. First, we went to Jimmy John's Field for a baseball game that got insane amounts of rain. So there was like a 2-hour delay. Mm-hmm. So we stayed through that. And then the game was finally ready to start, but we had Lillian with us, and it was starting to get cold out and all that. So we're like, you know what? Let's just go. We still loved it. It still was fun. It was still you had the experience of being there. We saw the players warming up, so we just didn't see the game, but it's okay. We still had a good time. And that's, at the end of the day, it was about being together. And so we really liked that. Then the next day we had breakfast with my father and did that, and had a good time doing that as well.
Fantastic. Cool. That's a great one. I worked all weekend. I called my dad, talked to him after I was done working on Sunday, and caught up with him for a little bit. And I'll probably see him this next week. They're actually coming up here for a little visit. So,
they're coming up here.
Yeah. They're going to make a little trip up, and
since they're from Florida too, they have like 2 months where our temperatures are warm enough for them to survive.
Yeah, we'll see. It was only high as 68 yesterday. So,
I know.
The first day of freedom here in Michigan, it was 68. So, and that while the mandates have dropped, there's still a few locations requiring masks, but for the most part, everything's dropped. Everything's available to open up as 100% as much as they can. I know people are having trouble opening up their restaurants fully because they just haven't got staffing. So if anybody's looking for work, it's time to start looking. Come on, guys.
Time to start looking and
And
don't worry, those of you who want to still virtue signal by wearing your mask, go ahead. You can still wear it. We're not banning you from wearing it.
No one's banned. And I see people wearing them all the time. They're still wearing. So I've got people saying.
What's funny is the people in my life who actually are wearing them are the people who are vaccinated.
Yes, I would say a majority of people I know that are wearing them are vaccinated and are afraid of the variants that are coming. Though they keep saying that they are covered by the vaccine. So
even though. Actually, Jill just had a conversation with her doctor, and they're like, "Yeah, the mask don't work." And this was at a hospital.
Fauci said the mask didn't work until he decided which political side he was on, and then he said you had to wear masks.
Yep. Once Trump spoke, then all of a sudden science went out the window, and they changed it. But that's another podcast, I guess.
Yeah, not for this show though. So, hey, we got to get some sponsors out of the way because we got some great ones.
Sponsors!
With Loringer Family Chiropractic Center, PC, located in Belleville, Michigan, and Dexter, Michigan. And they take great pride in providing the finest chiropractic care to each and every patient. They offer on-site digital x-rays, massage therapy, orthotics by foot levelers, young living essential oils, aromatherapy, full line of vitamins, all in a family-oriented environment. Give them a call, 734-697-4244 to set up a consultation. You can visit them online at LoringerFamilyChiropractic.com. We have a link there for you, but we also have the Facebook page up here, and there we go. And at Loringer Family Chiro, that's where you can find them on Facebook. You can call right from there from your phone. Check out any information. They have a bunch of cool stuff here. It talks a little about the doctors, regular their actual websites here, so that way you can actually get a little more in depth. And they've got decades of experience behind them, and they are a multi-generational chiropractic family. So definitely check them out. So
very good. Yeah, they do. They do great work. Brett is a regular there, and as I've mentioned in the past, my daughter needed some help, and we took her there for I think it was about 6 months. We were going there 3 to 6 months, somewhere in that time frame, and they did a phenomenal job. They really do care about their patients, and I also highly recommend them.
Yep, and they were looking to just keep you healthy and well, whether it was pre-COVID, current COVID, post-COVID, doesn't matter. Chiropractic helps with all that to help your immune system stay tops, so that way it can fight off any of these diseases and stuff coming along. So
that's
check
right.
them out. And then we also have
Team Titans of Real Estate. Dun dun dun. Yeah. Why? Because you matter. That's right. Even though technology, social media, and all the fun toys that we play with, like drones and stuff, that's always evolving and changing. What never changes is it's still a people business. At the end of the day, you're buying a house, and we are there to help facilitate that deal and find you the best deal possible. So what is the market doing? Every time someone finds out a realtor, right away, what's the market doing? That's what everyone wants to know. And it's always in a state of flux. We recently had an insane buying season where we had tons of offers just pouring through the roof and above asking price, appraisal guarantees. Now, that does appear to be shifting. However, real estate has different levels, different price points, and there's different demands at those different price points. So even though the market is shifting, some of those price points are still in that old demand model. So for instance, $200,000 to $300,000 houses, those are still very hot right now, and the supply of those is still limited. So what we're seeing is the different certain price houses, we are seeing the shift occur, less viewings, less offers coming in, and we're getting more offers coming in at or even below asking price. But at that core price point, we're still seeing a heavy turnover as far as number of offers coming in and everything else. So when we talk about the market as a whole, just know there's different price points, different levels of demands for different things. So that's why when you have your needs, give us a call and we will custom tailor it to you, because what's happening in one area of the market may not be what's happening in the area that you're looking in. So give us a call. My number is 586-549-6096, or Jeff, there's a thing here that says Jeff. There's a Jeff on this page. I looked at it just as I was
calling
Jeff?
Jill Jeff from now.
I know. Or Jill Webler at 586-277-2145. And she's more likely to not get your name wrong. But we love working with our people. We had some great reviews come in recently from some past clients. And we really do care about our clients' needs. So give us a call.
Excellent. So,
all right.
Well, yeah, I had a one of my regulars I deliver for. I saw her on Monday. Usually I get her on the weekends, but they just moved, and I didn't realize when you told me they were moving that they actually bought a house because they were in an apartment. Nice. And in fact, she's one I've delivered to her. I was her first shopper. I've delivered her for over 3 years, so I've gotten to know her and her boyfriend a little bit. Mainly her, because she's the one I deal with the most. Always one. So I got to see her nice new house, and she said the same thing. They put in bids, and it took a while. They were getting outbid like crazy, and they were going up, a fair amount on some of these houses and that. And but the one they got, it's like everything just lined up. The thing I told her, I said, the kind of thing I'm hearing from different people, it sounds like, with the bids, it's not always even the highest bid getting. Sometimes there's people that say, we kind of like these people. That's more than what we were planning on getting anyway. So they go with that. And I think that's kind of what happened here. So they ended up with a really nice home, 3-bedroom, has another little side room attached that they got a friend that's going to move in there. They had a nice backyard. I was seeing this thing going, wow, this must have been like one of those hidden gems. So it went on the market and people weren't paying attention to it as much. Yeah. But it's really nice 100-year-old home, nice hardwood floors, looks very solid, good structure. And in fact, they said they didn't have to really do anything when we moved in. She's keeping the paint scheme for now. She says, I'm not looking to spend money and buy too much crazy stuff for the house. So they just dropped a bunch of money on the house itself.
Right.
So, and it's just them. They're hoping, they're going to eventually get married, have kids. So it's kind of their plan. And like that. So, but yeah, so houses are out there. So definitely, like I said, give them a call, give Scott and Jill a call, look around. And sometimes though, you have to maybe look a little off the beaten path too.
It's true. All right. So let's get into fun stuff.
Yeah. What do you want to talk first?
Well, I see you're queued up there. I think that's a good place to start.
Yeah, I watched episode 3 today, so I won't get into that.
Yep, I watched it also. My only review will be I enjoyed it.
Yep, and it's progressing the story along well. But yeah, we found out the variant is a female Loki.
But that's not the controversial part. The controversy that people are losing their stuff over. She's a blonde.
Yeah, that cracked me up. I was like, oh, she should have had dark hair. She should have this. I'm like, but they showed a bunch of variant Lokis, and there are all kinds of different variants.
Not only that, they kind of implied like of any human or any creature in existence, Loki seemed to be the most variant out there. There's like thousands of versions, some not even humanoid.
Yeah.
What's funny is they are like, but she doesn't look like Tom Hiddleston. Tom Hiddleston doesn't look like Tom Hiddleston. You know why? Because the real Loki has blue skin. He was an ice giant, but he doesn't like that. So he makes his skin appear flesh, the color that you see for us to see, because he doesn't like how he looks in reality. So the reality is if she actually looked like him, she'd have blue skin.
Yeah.
But I have some theories out there, but let's talk about the episode first. But yeah, anyways, everyone's losing. I chimed in on a couple of the posts. Everyone's like, oh, this is awful. She needs black hair and all this. It's like, they're admitted. They even set it up as there's thousands of variants here of every possible combination. But anyways.
Yeah, well, here, I'm going to change the image real quick. Because this is from A Midnight in Paris. You can see Tom Hiddleston's not even Loki.
Right.
He looks so different there.
And Mobius.
Yeah.
Agent Mobius is there.
Yeah.
It would be funny for them to do a time travel to 2011 and run into those two characters in Paris.
That would be hilarious. That'd be fun.
A side note, too, that image from Midnight in Paris made me just remember. It's amazing. Owen Wilson always looks like a doofus. Yeah. But I realize it's his hair. Because I like how he looks as Mobius. Well, his hair, as well as the fact that he's his aging. Nose, he's definitely aging in that. It's something about him though. You see him and you think he's just gonna be the dumbest character there is. And he's played a couple of dumb ones here and there, but for the most part, his characters are actually a little more smarter than you think. Oh yeah,
and he comes across, and when he starts going, it's like, okay, there's a lot more to the character they're building, but the actor who looks just that way is bringing a lot more out of it. So, and that's what I like about him. And I love him as in this Loki series.
But I think some people look better at different ages. I think as an older gentleman, he's come into his looks now. Yes. like as you age, you get harder lines and stuff. I think his nose fits better with his current look, but also his hair. I really like him as Mobius, whereas his typical blonde doofus looking hair is always down, and he kind of comes across as dumb. He doesn't come across that way, I don't think, this way, but I like him.
Yeah, no, I like the character. And I'm hoping he's going to be around for a while. I hope this isn't like his one-shot thing and that's it. So
the other interesting thing is they could easily turn him into like an Agent Coulson, where he pops up in different things, and I wouldn't mind that at all.
Yeah.
It's interesting. Hollywood is a very superficial town. It's all based upon your looks, and his brother Luke Wilson is a very good-looking guy, but you barely see him ever. Whereas Owen, you who would have thought? Because he does have a jacked up nose. I don't know. Was it broken?
Well, and it's like you said here. He says I think it's been broken a bunch of times from fights and stuff like that. And I think he done some boxing at one time. But it's like here with the salt and pepper hair. It really brings out different features. And he looks like other actors I've seen with a similar hairstyle and things like that. So he's got that. He's almost got that everyman look right now going on, which really really fits.
Right.
So
also what's interesting is the character Mobius was actually based upon a real person at Marvel. I'm trying to find the picture of him. I can't find it now, but they did a good job with the mustache, and it's just like how the real life guy at Marvel looked, that they based the look of the agent on. So, but in this episode, we had the major reveal of who the variant is and what she looks like. Our Loki discovered how that Loki was hiding in
there's
apocalypses.
There's a rudimentary version of that you were talking about.
There you go. Yeah.
So
somewhere they showed the actual photo next to the comic book drawing of the character of the real life guy, and so, but I like the twist they did of using in an apocalyptic event, there's a natural pruning of the timeline that occurs. So no matter what happens in that event, the Time Variance Authority doesn't even know about it. So I thought that was a nice little twist there that they did on how this Loki that we see on the screen is hiding.
Yeah, I like that. That was a great twist on that. And it reminded me a little bit like from Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, the restaurant at the end of the universe. The whole concept of that in that book was the restaurant is when the universe blows up. So it's kind of like it's caught in a little time warp thing. So it's kind of what this Loki was doing, was hiding in that little time warp back and forth because it's going to destroy anything. So it won't trigger anything.
Also, a little Easter egg that popped up when Loki discovers this, it was looking at the file of the destruction of Ragnarok. And the code name for that event was the Revengers on the written report. That was Thor. Remember Thor name? He couldn't come up with a name for his group. So instead of Avengers, he called them the Revengers.
Yes.
So there is now the Revengers is part of Time Variance Authority timeline as well.
Yep. And they've dropped it into, so it's all part of the MCU.
So if you recall, the week prior, we reviewed episode 1. We talked about our theory of what maybe one of the Lokis was going to be responsible for in the potential creation of the multiverse. Well, in this episode, we see how her plan unhatched, where it was really cool. I thought she's been collecting all these those time grenades and those watches that send things through time. And it turns out she was simultaneously sending these time grenades throughout all different points of time. And you see the timeline branching everywhere into potentially a multiverse.
Yeah, I believe that's part of the creation of that, or the tying in the ultimate timeline with where the multiverse stuff is. Right.
For the movies, is not counting Black Widow, because we don't know where Black Widow is going to fall. Assuming she's dead from the last one, this should be a movie from before. But
the final trailer, for Black Widow showed her falling.
Oh, okay.
So they do. It looks like it's going to be mentioned in the movie and dealt with. And in some ways, the way the voiceover was for this trailer, it really sounds like this is like her telling the story after she's gone. Like, this is what you didn't know about me during that whole time. Where it goes from there, we don't know. So
technically, she's in the Soul Stone.
Yeah, I mean, that's always been that's what they implied even during the movies, was that whoever died was inside the Soul Stone.
But in the comics, I think that's how they did it.
Right, but they've never fully said if the person was replaced, if they would come back out. Right. And the reason is even though people said, well, Gamora came back, but it wasn't the same Gamora. That was a
different timeline.
That's a different timeline. So that's where a lot of this timeline stuff's coming into play and all that. So, and a lot of that's got to get cleared up with Gamora once we get to Guardians 3. So
now, movie wise, do you know if Doctor Strange comes out before Spider-Man or the reverse?
That's I want to say, I think Doctor Strange is November and Spider-Man is December.
So Doctor Strange would be first, and that's called the Multiverse of Madness.
Yeah.
But I wonder if there'll be a final end scene where we see Doctor Strange recruited by the Time Variance Authority to try to fix everything.
I don't know. That's going to be interesting. I mean, what we've got coming up, we've got Black Widow, which I have my ticket for. Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings comes out in September.
Okay, so
I'm thinking that has a lead into Doctor Strange. But we also have the Eternals coming out November 5th. And then, and Spider-Man does come out before that. So Spider-Man No Way Home comes out in December, and then it's going to be in March next year that we get Doctor Strange. So it's been pushed back to March.
So we got
changed a few times. So I think they're trying to get these in the proper order.
Right. So Shang-Chi is first, then Eternals, then Spider-Man, then Doctor Strange. Okay.
Yep. And then after Doctor Strange in May will be Thor: Love and Thunder.
Love and Thunder, which we've seen what Jane looks like in her Thor armor on a shirt release, I think. Someone had posted a shirt that was out.
Yeah.
And you see her on that shirt. So
yeah, we got that. And then supposedly in July, we've got the Wakanda Forever Black Panther movie. And then the Marvels is scheduled for November of 2022. And then we don't get the Ant-Man until 2023, which is the Quantumania. So I think a lot of the stuff leading up to Doctor Strange will be all this revealing the multiverse, and then through him, there's going to be more. It's going to be a very dark movie compared to some of the other ones. So,
and the nice thing about this for Marvel is having all these unlimited variants out there. Mm-hmm. They can recast everyone however they want, which of course, anyways, side note.
Yeah. Well, and that's possible because there's been some of the actors have talked about once they're done with their initial ones, they want to move on because they've done it for a long time. But then they announced, and I'm blanking on her name, who played Daenerys, Emily Clark.
Emilia Clarke.
I've been seeing articles. She's signed on to be in. They haven't said what yet, as far as I know, but she said she's ready to go 10 years with the Marvels.
Well, you got that, but then also they can bring back like Scarlett Johansson if she wants to be back. They can use a variant, just like with Gamora, how they brought a different part of the timeline or a different part of the multiverse. They could bring her back and explain why someone, even Robert Downey Jr. could come back through the multiverse.
And all this fits into how comic books have been for the last 40 years, really. So
yeah, they always find a way to bring characters back.
Yeah. The one thing they did announce too, and then we'll move on, is Fantastic Four will be the final movie in this current phase.
Right. And has that been announced when that's coming out?
Yeah, they haven't given a date for that yet. It's in development, so it's probably looking at, I would say, 2023.
Yeah,
is when they're doing that. And part of I think is they don't want to reveal too much with that one because right now Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 comes out May 25th, 2023. So I could see Fantastic Four being the fall movie because it's going to be a good one. So it'll probably be the November one, and then that sets up everything, finalizing the end of that phase to set up the next phase going forward.
Now, the real question is on all these things is, we're talking the movies, which is very, exciting. It's nice to get these movies back. But the real question is, what other Marvel plans are there for Disney Plus? What other series are going to come out between now and then? Because I've been loving these series so far.
Yeah, there is talk of that. We've got the Armor Wars is scheduled.
Is it through Disney Plus?
Yes. So I'm pulling up a list now.
Here we go. Disney Plus Marvel shows.
Yeah.
Of every series, we know that one. That one we got Loki. Okay, so now that's right, Hawkeye. We got Hawkeye coming, which I'm excited for that one.
Hawkeye. I'm looking forward to that. They do have a What If coming. Yeah. They're doing a live action She-Hulk.
Yeah, which I'm not understanding the person they cast as She-Hulk, but we'll see how that works.
Yeah, I'm going to give it a chance, just like I do all of them in that. So, but then
I'm hoping they must be going. They got to be going with CGI for when she's She-Hulk.
I would think so, because She-Hulk gets. When she's normal, she's a normal girl, but then she becomes She-Hulk. She's bigger. So,
but the problem is in the comic, she's like always green. She doesn't really go back and forth.
It depends. The last run of She-Hulk that I read, which is about 15 years or so ago, and it was a good run. It was fun. She was back and forth. She was human. She was that because she's a lawyer. So she's and they were and in the comic they were dealing more with the lawyer side a lot of ways, but she would still transform and do different things. But she has complete control over the transformation.
Right.
And that so it's I think what they're going to be going with is. I think in some ways this is going to be a series. I wouldn't be surprised if they don't try to do more of a Daredevil-esque with it, but more on the lawyering side than the superhero side.
I just wish, I don't know. Physically, I don't understand this actress as She-Hulk, but we'll see how it works. She doesn't look like She-Hulk at all.
Well,
Like,
and we've
not
said
even
that,
in the realm.
and we've said that about other people, and then we see it. I was like, oh, it's pretty good. I mean, Gal Gadot when she first announced, kind of like, I don't know, but then she pulled it off.
But
so.
for her, she's still ultra skinny, and it's the armor that pulls her off. But the armor looks good on her, but She-Hulk is a Hulk.
Yeah, well, and same thing. I think it's going to be a lot. I think it's going to be CGI,
we'll see.
so we'll see. But they also got Moon Knight coming out with Oscar Isaac.
Moon Knight, that's right. Yep. Moon Knight's going to be long. Well, I hope it's good.
And then Ms. Marvel. So
Moon Knight was one of the comics I used to love getting. Long time ago.
Yeah, so we'll see that Ms. Marvel's coming out, which I think is going to tie into the Marvel movie. And then Secret Invasion, we should see Sam Jackson back. And I think that's going to tie in some of these series together. And then we get into Armor Wars, Ironheart, which they're moving on right now because I've been seeing some posting. They've signed Dominique Thorne to play Riri Williams. So it's based on the comic. And then again, an I Am Groot, which is going to be a series of shorts, which I think will be stuff tied into the Guardians. So, I mean, that's kind of what we got going series-wise that they've announced so far. I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see some other announcements because they've been pretty good about hiding stuff. And the next thing you know, it's like, oh, here comes this. I mean, kind of like Star Wars. I mean, it's, we were expecting Mandalorian 3, and at the end of the last season, what did we get? Boba Fett.
Yeah. That's one thing you got to hand Disney. They are masters at keeping their content quiet. Mm-hmm. I mean, look at the Luke Skywalker reveal was huge in the last Mandalorian series.
And nobody gave that away ahead of time.
Yep. Baby Yoda, complete surprise. Nobody gave that away. So they've done such a great job at keeping their secrets.
Yeah. So I think so. We talked about episode 2. A lot of stuff happened there. We got a nice reveal. We get to meet more the female version of Loki. We're seeing more of them expanding what's going on. So,
or is it the female version of Loki? That's another question.
Well,
a lot of people online are thinking it's a character called the Enchantress. So that's one theory going out there. So we'll see. Yeah. I think it is female Loki, but we'll see.
Yeah, I think it's one
or Lady Loki. I think people call her.
Yeah, there's been Lady Loki and things like that. I think it is a version of Loki, and it may be one we've seen in the comics, but it may be one we haven't really seen. So it could be their own creation of that, since they explained that there was a ton of different variants, including, I got a small, not many of them listed here, but there was I go so fast, but I guess there was a Tour de France winning cyclist Loki,
yes,
a Hellboy style version, a Baphomet looking guy, and one in armor a bit like the one that was worn by Kurgan in Highlander.
Yep.
So
they do mention, my theory I wanted to put up there here. I'm going to add that back up there. So my theory is this. This is the multiverse, right? Mm-hmm. So every Loki can have their own origin story. They don't all have to be 100% the same.
Right.
It could be she's blonde because this could be the version of Loki for what if Loki wasn't born of ice giants, but was actually Thor's true sibling.
Yeah.
So she would have Thor's genetics and maybe same blonde hair as Thor, or what if Thor was born as Loki, or who knows what. But you can do that when you start getting into multiverses, it becomes the what if show. And
and I think the fanboys for comics need to realize that these are not going to be the ones you always saw in the comics.
I think this time it's the fangirls.
Well,
it's the girls who've had jet black hair cosplaying as Loki for 10 years who are now mad that their version is now obsolete.
Yep. Well, and she is definitely different. I mean, if you notice, she's only got one horn, one's broken off.
Yeah, it's broken off.
And that she's definitely blonde. The outfit's very similar to traditional Loki style that we've seen, but it's again, like I said, different origin story, background. We'll have to still learn more about that. Where this Loki, where in the timeline this Loki came from, which variant, which multiverse, is it like I said? And it still could be. It could be like the Enchantress or someone else that turned themselves. Yeah. It could be Agnes.
It could be. Now, here's one thing we do know.
Yeah,
we've had 2 series so far. And both series, Marvel has done a great job at creating twists that there's thousands of theories out there, but it turns out they have their path ends up being the one nobody guessed.
And that's been the thing. I think a lot of it really deals with mainly the people that have been reading comics, or even if they didn't read the comics, they went and hit every Wikipedia about every comic about that stuff, and they're trying to pull it out from that. And realistically, I think it's being pulled for so many different angles. They're able to create a whole new thing to keep it as original as possible. Because as much as as comic fans want to see, like, well, here's this comic, just do this.
Right. Now
that would get kind of boring after a while.
Right, but now to be fair to the fans who are speculating,
Mm-hmm.
Marvel is also toying with us because they keep putting these Easter eggs throughout where it's like there'll be a number and you look it up, it's like, oh my God, that's an issue about this topic. And then or they'll do something that's like, oh my God, that's something that Mephisto had. So they are sprinkling tons of misleading Easter eggs. It's very interesting because it shows they understand their fans, that they're able to put Easter eggs in there to divert the fan theories.
And they're not discounting any of the original source material either.
Right. Exactly. They can go a different path, and the way they're unfolding this, it's not saying the source material was bad or never existed. This is just saying this is different.
Yeah.
So I applaud them. I love that they understand us enough to know we are looking for those tiny Easter eggs. And it's like, you know what? If we put this little thing here, we'll get them off the trail, and so they'll be surprised by what we reveal. I think that's brilliant.
Yeah, and I like that. I personally like getting a surprise out of this stuff and not knowing necessarily all the ins and outs. So
yep. And I'm still loving the weekly release. It gives us time just like this. We're digesting it. We're thinking, we're speculating, or wondering what next week will be, which we already saw this morning.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Which I can't wait to talk about today's episode. So that'll have to be next week. But I enjoyed it. It was good.
Yeah. We'll definitely talk about that next week. That'll be fun on that. So.
All I'll say is there's mischief to come.
Well, and that's the whole thing with Loki. We get some mischief, and I like that. I don't know how many episodes are there for the Loki.
Good question. Don't they typically do around 8 for these things? Let's see.
Yeah, something like that. I'm gonna pull up the wiki, see if it says what it is. Episodes. There we go.
Oh, wait a minute. There's quite a few. Am I reading this right? No. Loki episode count. Maybe if I do that.
Yeah. So it's
6 episodes.
Okay.
Or is that tomorrow, June 9th at 8 a.m.? So it sounds like 6 episodes, I think.
Okay.
Oh, that stinks. We're halfway through. Man,
well,
we need like 20 episodes.
Well, it's supposedly they're talking about doing multiple seasons, though.
Yes.
And where the other ones were the WandaVision and Captain America Winter Soldier or Falcon Winter Soldier was one-off seasons, because they're transitioning them back into the movies. Loki, I think, is going to be it's going to be kind of popping in here in and out. So,
yeah. Well, I've not read anything on this, but I get the feeling Tom Hiddleston loves being Loki. And I have a feeling he'll gladly be Loki till he's 80 years old. So if that's the case, this is the perfect vehicle where they can almost make him into like a watcher from the comics, right? Where he can travel anywhere through space and time and pop in and pop out. He can, whenever there's some issue with storyline, pop Loki in there to fix it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because my hope is I would love to see at the end of all this, he conquers the TVA and he becomes the TVA himself. And so he just pops in and out wherever he wants.
and that would be fun. That would definitely make a lot of sense for a lot of things. And the whole Watcher thing would be fun too. So
I would love to see him as that.
Well, excellent. So yeah, so let's
good times.
Yeah, that was fun. And you guys will enjoy today's episode, I'm sure, because we enjoyed it. So, but we've got other series we watch on Disney Plus. Again, great they're doing it once a week is Bad Batch.
And I love that they're alternating days. I mean, the weeks really go by quick having 2 different days to watch.
Now, I did read something, and because Loki's is doing higher numbers releasing on Wednesday than the other Marvel series did on Friday. They're talking about releasing all their stuff going forward on Wednesday and I hope it's just Marvel. I'd like to see them do. Heck, I wouldn't mind if they did like every day a new episode of something dropped for whatever series is going on.
Yeah,
I'd be
like
fine with
Wednesdays
that.
are Marvel Day, Fridays are Star Wars Day, Thursdays are their Disney Princess Days or whatever.
Whatever they're doing, it's like because they
Yeah.
got all these series and they were kind of dropping them all like boom. It's like here comes Friday and here was all these series, and they decided to do that with Loki, move it to Wednesday. But it was like even like their Mighty Duck series, I think it was dropping the same day on Fridays. So it's a lot dropping at once. It's like spread them out. I like that. It's like it's kind of nice to say like you get up the next day and you're thinking, oh, I want to watch some TV. I want to watch. Oh, I have a new episode of whatever.
Yeah,
And it's kind of nice to be able to do that. So. But we had a good Bad Batch this week.
and
episode 8.
A wonderful reveal at the end. So
yeah, go ahead and get into it, Scott.
Get into it?
Yeah.
All right, here I'll share the screen. Dun, dun, dun. Oh, what? Where's my file? Dang it. I thought I had it up and ready. Anyways, we'll just get into it here. I think I accidentally closed the wrong tab when I was trying to share it, but I'll do this. We had Cad Bane introduced. What an awesome... Remember when I saw him, I can't remember where we last saw him. Like, for some reason in my head, I thought he was dead. So I'm trying to recall how we left him in back in the Clone War days.
Well, let's see here. I'll pull up the Wikipedia. The Wikipedia here. Let's see here.
While he's doing that, one of the things with Cad Bane that's interesting is the dent in Boba Fett's helmet actually comes from Cad Bane through a duel they had, but it technically was in a deleted scene. So it's not part of canon officially. Mm-hmm. But of course, if they stick with that storyline, that the dent in Boba Fett's helmet came from him when young animated Daniel Logan was Boba Fett. But Cad Bane, he's a highly successful bounty hunter from the anime Clone Wars series. He was very popular. He had a very Clint Eastwood type persona that was very fun to see.
Let's see.
You could also tell. You could also tell they aged him a little bit as far as like his voice. And he sounded a little older to me. And then his sidekick, which everyone loves, Todd, or Toto, I mean, Toto 360. He's such a fun character as well. But so what we learned from this episode basically is the Kaminoans. How do you say it?
Yeah. Kaminoans. They can see that they're becoming obsoleted by the Empire, and their place in the universe is limited. And so they've got their own plan. And so they've sent out bounty hunters to fetch Omega because that was their contingency plan. It turns out they were looks like they want to use her as the model for future clones is what I'm getting. Mm-hmm. And they have orders to bring her back alive. So because when Jango Fett died, that hurt their program because Jango Fett was the original source of all the clone DNA. Once he died, they could no longer harvest his DNA freshly. They had to take samples from existing clones and duplicate. And whenever you make copies of copies, you have degradation in the DNA. So the quality slowly went downhill. So now they need a fresh donor, and that would be Omega. Well, it looks like the last episode I see listed with Cad Bane is Crisis on Naboo, which is season 4, episode 18 of the Clone Wars. And he was taken into custody by a shock trooper because they said there's continuity error where after the scene cut, he turned into a normal clone trooper from a shock trooper did. But that's the last thing I saw that lists Cad Bane. Bane was infiltrating the crowd holographically disguised as a Nemodian. But of course, so he was taken in. So probably what happened, he may have been taken in, but he probably escaped because he was pretty crafty. So
yeah, he was always crafty. Now here's an article I found. Let's see here. So is Cad Bane back? So that the Bane versus Boba Fett scene. So his final episode was actually cut and became a deleted thing. So that's why they're asking, will the Bad Batch address Cad Bane's unaired showdown with Boba Fett, which ended ambiguously? Mm-hmm. And it was actually Dave Filoni who revealed this unaired clip. So episode 6 of the Bad Batch brings Cad Bane back. He was such a great character, but I'm trying to see, but because we've seen Boba Fett appear after the events of Clone Wars, it's safe to say he survived, but Bane has not been seen since.
Yeah, the video I got there, if you look at it without playing it, you can see that it looks like it was unfinished animation, so it's more of like probably an animatic.
Correct.
So that's something that they could still use if they wanted to incorporate that scene into Bad Batch if we're going to run into Boba Fett.
So it was never confirmed or shown that he died. So like you said, the last actual aired scene is him being let off.
Yeah.
So, and Cad Bane is pretty good at escaping. So
yeah.
So I remember when he showed up though, I was like, what? I was wondering what bounty hunter would appear. I was actually expecting it. For some reason, I thought it was going to be the guy he has that big hat that is also a shield and he throws it. And I forget his name. But he was also a fun character in the Clone Wars. But I was happy to see it was Bane.
Yeah. So, I mean, it was cool. I liked Cad Bane as a character. It was one that, I know he's popped into the comics and things like that. So he's definitely around. So, and
he's his species is Duros, I believe, if I remember right. We originally see them in the cantina scene way back when in Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope.
That's true.
So they modified him to be a bounty hunter. Mm-hmm. So good times.
Yeah, so that was another fun episode, and it's interesting. So we see who's that definitely there's a bounty out for Omega, and when you've got someone like Cad Bane coming after it, it's a big deal. So
yeah, it's a large sum of money.
Yeah.
So as far as episode count, season 1 has 16 episodes. So we're about the halfway mark here, right?
There's 14.
14.
If you break up the a movie into episodes, it would add up to 16. And it's probably how some different things are trying to break it up. But you count the movie as number 1, Aftermath, and then you've got up through the one we just had, which would be number 8, and number 14 is the last one scheduled for July 30th.
Interesting, because this one, let's see. So what's this? This has 16 episodes. This says so. This was May. So
I think they're breaking up the movie Aftermath into 3 episodes, which is about the length they would be.
Okay, so that's probably what they are doing. Okay,
yep,
nice.
Because I didn't expect to get a full, almost 80-minute movie.
It was long, yeah, which would be, like you said, 3 episodes worth.
Yep. So that's about what it is. So I was surprised we had that initially, but I think it's smart. It got a great introduction to everything. And instead of just dropping 3 episodes at once, like some of the series I've been noticing that on different streaming are dropping like the first 2 or 3 episodes, and then they go weekly. So they want to get you hooked.
Right. Plus, usually those first episodes are set up, so it moves a little slower. So I think you need to give a little extra to allow that hook to come in, so that people are like, "Wow, I can't wait till the next episode." Because a lot of times, episode 1, it's all set up,
right? Yeah, and we got a lot of that within the first episode for the movie, and then the last hour of it was, a lot more of the actual story in that. So
right.
So yeah, and they do list on Wikipedia different things. The title names for the rest of the episodes, except for the next one. So I'm not sure why, but I'm not going to go through those because who knows, maybe they're wrong. So, but it doesn't get the titles, doesn't give away much of anything. Although
and that happened with what was it? The Mandalorian. I think there were some titles that were misleading, and then it turned out it wasn't the titles. I think they leaked some miscues.
Yeah, because they were talking about different things too. So I was like, "Oh, we're going to see such and then I told them that's not the name of the episode. We're not going to see what they thought we would." So,
right.
So definitely did that. So,
cool.
moving off that topic, I went and saw The Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard last night.
Oh,
and I'm not going to get into a detailed thing on this. I definitely recommend it. If you like the first one, I think you're going to like this one. One thing I found about it was at times a little more campy than the first one. I don't know. Did you see the first one, Hitman's Bodyguard?
I didn't. A lot of people are going to disagree with me. I cannot stand Ryan Reynolds.
Okay.
I like him as Deadpool, but ever since he became Deadpool, no matter what role I see him in, he just plays the same character now. Like he's the smart ass, like he doesn't act anymore. He's just Deadpool with different names. So
well, these are all the multiverse versions of Deadpool.
That's what I feel like I'm watching, which would be cool if it was a Marvel movie.
Yeah. Well, what worked well for the first one to me was I liked Ryan Reynolds, but him paired with Samuel L. Jackson was really good. Salma Hayek had a smaller role in the first movie. She's a central character in the second one here. And she really makes the movie for me. The second one, The Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard, along with Sam Jackson, and then Ryan Reynolds again. He's just Ryan Reynolds. I like him. I enjoy watching these movies because the cast around him makes it. If it's just him, I probably wouldn't enjoy just him.
Yeah. So compared to the first one, same, better, worse.
I feel it's about the same in enjoyability.
Okay.
I would go see it again in the theaters. I enjoyed it that much. I was laughing a lot. Again, it's Salma Hayek. She is just, kind of used to her in different ways, but she's really coming into her next phase as an actress. And in this one here, I mean, you saw this character in the first one, very rough, foul mouthed, very tough in a lot of ways. And you get even more of that in this one. When she's introduced, it's hilarious and goes right into it. And then I can't talk about the things she talks about. She's quite foul mouthed through this, but I found it very hilarious. So not for kids. Definitely not for kids. Don't be dragging your kids to go see this fun little movie. The F-bomb is prevalent. I think the F-bomb is 35% of the dialogue.
Of course, as we learned from Deadpool, Ryan Reynolds fans like to bring their 2-year-olds to those kind of movies.
Yes, you morons.
Then they leave saying, "What? I didn't know this was going to be this way," even though they put out an ad campaign saying, "Don't bring your kids."
Yeah, but they had some trailers beforehand, and one was they had the final trailer for Black Widow, as I mentioned earlier, which was a different one. And then they had a trailer for, now I've not seen the movie Venom. I just was never really wanting to see it because I'm like, okay, you're introducing Venom, but it's always been part of Spider-Man lore. But the trailer for Venom 2, I actually was watching this going, Venom, just to get a basic idea of the character that they're doing here, this version, because they're introducing Carnage. But I actually kind of liked the trailer. I was like, oh, this actually looks like it might be kind of fun. So I'm kind of more intrigued to want to see it now. And I've heard people tell me Venom's good. I just one of those things I'm just like, I just don't know.
I 100% agree with you. The first Venom movie, the trailer, I had zero interest in. I never saw it. But the second trailer, I do feel the second one, maybe because of Carnage, I don't know, but I feel.
I was liking it right up to the point when they introduced Carnage. I was really liking it, and then for the Carnage part, I like that aspect too. But just the first half of the trailer without Carnage, I was like, okay, I like what they're doing here. They're, the symbiote and the main guy are one and the same, and how they're doing things. I like the interaction between the two. So it was. I found, I was like, okay, this could actually be a lot of fun. So
I agree. Well, we got a little time left. Let's review some of the movies coming up now that we actually are unlocked and can actually go to the theater and go about wearing no masks and just living life again.
Yeah.
So there's a couple of big movies coming out. One of the more, I wouldn't call it a big movie, but I'm kind of looking forward to it. I'll probably watch it online though. The Tomorrow War with Chris Pratt is coming up.
I didn't realize that was going to be in theaters, or is it?
I didn't know. Now? I thought that was like a Netflix movie or something.
It's on Prime, isn't it?
Or Prime, I mean, yeah. So I'm looking forward to that. I do want to see that, but I'm probably going to see that on streaming. I don't know. I might go.
Yeah, but, I was just trying to see if it was. I don't know if it's actually showing in the theaters, or it could be. They might have done a limited run in New York and LA to try to get.
Oh, okay. Oh, here it is. Prime Video. Okay, these are all movies regardless of theater, so it'll say nationwide if it's theater. So
okay,
so it says buy ticket. So that's why I was like, what?
Yeah, I was looking. Yeah, I just pulled it up and it's not listed. So I think it's just
Okay.
that one's just Prime.
So I definitely won't see this one in the theater.
Yeah.
It does. The trailer looks intriguing. It looks like there's a war in the future that's really bad. So they need to recruit more people. So they come to the present to recruit modern day people to bring them to the future to fight.
Yep.
That obviously would create quite the time paradox if you're taking out current people for future war. So I'm guessing they have some system of determining people who have no impact to the timeline down the road.
Right.
So there's the Tomorrow War. Boss Baby. They have a sequel coming out.
Yeah, I saw the trailer for that last night, and they go up against all these different versions of different babies. So it looks like it'll be
multiverse
fun for the kids. Not even
the Boss Baby multiverse.
I don't think it's so much multiverse as just there's he created the Boss Baby, and then the original Boss Baby has grown up, but then has become a baby again. But then they run into these different babies that are like the ones that they're gonna be fighting. So it looks like it'll be fun for the kids.
Yeah. Then we got July 9th, Black Widow.
Yep.
So definitely looking forward to that. What's this one? How I Became a Superhero.
I've not heard of that.
This is a Netflix movie.
Okay.
Who are the real superheroes? In a world where humans and superheroes coexist, a lone wolf cop teams up with a brilliant detective to dismantle a dark organization trafficking superpowers.
Yeah. So I got my ticket. I'm going on the Thursday night to see Black Widow. So
nice.
I'm looking forward to that.
I want to see that. Let's see. Fear Street, Part 1, Part 2. Oh, these are on Netflix. So whatever that is. Let's see. I want just movies. Let's see. Space Jam, not going to see that.
I'll probably watch that on HBO, not because of LeBron. I really could care less about LeBron, but I want to see the other stuff. Looks pretty good, the animation side of it. But I won't pay to see it. So
yeah. Oh, Troll Hunters, Rise of the Titans on Netflix is coming out. I really enjoyed the Troll Hunters Tales of Arcadia cartoon series. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, we got Snake Eyes. And actually, I'm actually curious about Snake Eyes because the Snake Eyes is in the Warrior movie that was originally Cinemax and is now part of HBO Max.
And I believe now, I think this one is being done under the Hasbro title.
Yes, this is, I think, the first one of the G.I. Joes to do that.
Which,
and so it's kind of, I don't know if it's I don't think they're really taking into account the previous G.I. Joe movies.
Right. I believe this is a whole new take on it. Hasbro's trying to get control over their product. Hasbro also did the Bumblebee movie, which was that was the best Transformers movie to date for the Michael Bay stuff. So,
which they did announce I don't know if you heard, they announced a new Transformers and they're going with the Beast Wars.
Yeah, I've never gotten into Beast Wars.
I didn't either, so it'll be interesting to see. So,
from a sales point of view, Beast Wars was a huge success for Hasbro. Yeah. But I think I don't know. I just never got into it. I don't understand.
If it's the same production company as Bumblebee and the trailer's good, I would be more interested. But if it's going to be the Michael Bay side of stuff, I won't care less to see it.
I just don't understand the whole thing of like, okay, they turn into cars and machines. They're metal. So yes, they are still hiding. But if I see a giant robot gorilla, they're not fooling me. I know it's not a gorilla. I never understood the concept of Transformers hiding in disguise as giant metal animals.
It's because it goes back to the movie Big when they were doing pitches for toys, and they go, "It's a robot, but it's a building."
But it's a robot.
But he goes, "What's fun is a building?"
Yeah. So I just never understood the Beast War concept as a whole, but. Let's see what else is coming out this month. A lot of these I've never heard of.
Yeah, and there's not a ton coming out again because they're slowly Jungle Cruise though.
There we go. I've been looking forward to that one.
Yep, I'm super excited about that. I saw posters up at the movie theater. We'll be in Tampa the weekend it comes out, so I'll have to see it after we get back from Tampa.
Now, yeah, that's going to be a good one. It just looks fun. The Rock knows his brand. He knows what he's good at, and this is going to be another one of those where his charisma, his sense of humor will come through well, I think.
His smolder,
yes. Really, it does feel like a Jumanji movie.
It does, and I'm looking forward to it. I'm hoping they do Jumanji 3 because I watched Jumanji 2 again the other week, and it's just such a good movie.
Yeah. The Green Knight also comes out. I want to tell you, if you like King Arthur movies and stuff, the trailer for this looks phenomenal. check it out. Look it up. The Green Knight. I
Excellent.
definitely want to see this. So this is part of the Arthurian legends tales.
Okay.
So that looks really good if you like King Arthur stuff.
Yeah.
Trying to see what else. 9 Days. What's that? I don't know what that is. Enemies of the State.
Again,
So
we got so much stuff that comes out between the streaming and different other things
Yeah.
that they pop on there. So,
but what this is also showing, we got like 4 or 5 really strong movies coming out. The theaters are the studios are starting to release those movies they've been sitting on for the past year or so.
Yeah.
So hopefully we're going to start seeing that come in. As you see here, the weekend top 10 box office, less than $8 million for Godzilla. We should start seeing those numbers go up quite a bit as everything
they are predicting that Black Widow could hit 90 million opening weekend,
which is huge especially under the circumstances.
Yeah, so I mean, we definitely got to, I think we can do it. I know I'm going with some friends, so there's like 5 or 6 of us, and they're all excited to get back into the movies, seeing these movies again. So I think it's definitely going to be, I think that's going to start pushing the movies forward, as well as when we start seeing more and more actual releases and not even the dual releases. I think some of the dual releases are hurting some of them, but at the same time, they're ones that, for the most part, I probably wouldn't go see. So, but yeah, we got, like I said, August, we do have, there's the new Suicide Squad, which I'm not crazy about, but this one actually looks better than the other ones.
Yeah, I don't.
And then, of course,
my issue with Suicide Squad is it's James Gunn, which I like, and I love his version of Guardians of the Galaxy. But I almost feel like this is like DC's trying to rip off Guardians of the Galaxy. James Gunn got kicked off, so remember there was that controversy that came up.
He got fired, immediately hired for a new Suicide Squad. He went right to work on it.
And I feel like this was just his idea for the next Guardians. He just put it here and reworked it. And I don't know, but it's very Guardians looking from the trailer.
Yeah. But we got that in August. Yeah, we got that in August. We also got Free Guy with Ryan Reynolds and Taika Waititi. Respect, which is, I probably won't go see this. It's what's her name?
Aretha Franklin.
Aretha Franklin's movie, yeah.
Paw Patrol, the movie comes out.
Yep, Paw Patrol. Now they've got a new Beatles Get Back documentary, and it's going to hit Disney Plus in November, but it's getting a theatrical release in August. I'm not that big of a Beatles fan, but those that are might want to see that. And then they're coming out with a brand new Candyman movie with Tony Todd again.
Yep, we know Kevin's excited for that.
Yeah, and we've
got especially with bringing Tony Todd back.
Yep, and then they got the Shang-Chi movie we mentioned earlier. And towards the end of September, we see a few more like Dear Evan Hansen based on the stage play. There's the new Venom movie, September 24th. October, we'll see the new Dune. It's supposed to come out. They have a new Halloween Kills.
Did you like Dune? I could never get into Dune.
I liked the movie Dune. I tried to read the book, and the book is impossible to read, in my opinion. It's just boring. But I liked the original movie, and I liked actually the Sci-Fi Channel's miniseries they did of Dune and Children of Dune better because they were actually moved the story along faster. And that, but it's one of those ones. It's supposed to be released theatrically, and they said originally HBO Max, but then going back and forth, it's actually going to hit HBO right away because of the producers are doing. We're not happy with that. We'll get the 007 movie eventually in October. Looks like there's an animated Addams Family 2 coming out.
Which that 007 movies, they were shopping it around to companies like Netflix and Prime and stuff. Nobody wanted it, so very hesitant about this upcoming. I wasn't excited about it based on what they were saying early on about the movie. And then you find out no streaming service wanted this powerhouse franchise.
I think the reason I think with that though, it was more of there was more tied in that they released that they didn't talk about publicly. It wasn't just like $1 million or anything. It was like other stuff tied in to try to get it. I think it was writers basically. But I'm looking forward to November. We've got Ghostbusters Afterlife. Can't wait to see that. And then Top Gun and things like that. So we got stuff coming out, and I'm sure they'll be announcing more as we go on. So
Eternals, Afterlife, Top Gun, November. Looking forward to that one.
Yep.
So Resident Evil.
Yep. They're relaunching that series.
I just read what's her name? Mila Milosevic or whatever, however you say her name. She's saying she might return to Resident Evil. Okay. She's gonna do that till she's 100.
Yeah, you know what? Her and her husband were making all those movies, and they all made money. So,
well, they've kept them cheap enough that that's what people have to remember. At the end of the day, movies is a business, and it's about how much money you make. That's why things like Sharknado are able to have so much success, is because they spend so little. Just a small following can make it very profitable.
Right. So, hey, we've hit the 11 o'clock hour. So
it's 11.
Let's wrap this up here. But hey, join us next week. We'll be talking about some more stuff. The following Wednesday, I will not be on the air with Scott. I'll be traveling that day.
So that's
2 weeks.
The 7th. Okay.
Yep. And that's so Scott will probably bring Jill on, or he'll hang out by himself and do whatever he does.
Yeah, I'll do interpretive dance for everyone.
He'll play with his new action figure. So.
Oh yeah. Here we go. Yeah. He's like, no, help me.
So, hey, join us next week, guys. We'll see you then.